Okay, so before I start, Liz, can I just say hello to Jeff Meelan, because he's a good friend of ours. Absolutely devastated to not be together on this event. So hiya, Jeff. And recently we've had a bit of a surprise case going on. So a lot of people will know us for the work that we do against the sex education. But that's how we started the organization, was through the sex education. Aside from that, I do a lot of work with family court cases, social services and things like that. So that's why we created Public Child Protection Wales, because we needed to bring it all under one banner. So going back to, I think it was the last few days of November, I was on a phone call to a friend of mine, and just by coincidence, pure chance, a lady walked into her house absolutely distraught. This lady had a 15-year-old girl who had a lump in her breast, who had been seen by Landoc Breast Centre in South Wales. It was an adult service, not a child service. And this child and the mother was being forced to consent to a full mastectomy for something called a fibroadenoma. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the audience, the women, will understand what a fibroadenoma is, but for the people who don't understand, it's a clump of cells within your breast, completely harmless, doesn't cause you any harm. They can be painful for some women. Some women have them removed. Some women don't have them removed. Completely benign, nothing at all to worry about. But this particular health board was trying to force this mum to override her daughter's own consent, a Gillick competent child who had already consented to biopsies, had already consented to scans, and she got to a point where she'd had enough, Liz. And the mum refused to override this child's consent for this forced full mastectomy. It got to the point where, looking now at the medical records, because it has taken them all of this time to actually produce some medical evidence, if you can call it that, for this medical emergency. This hospital was offered the opportunity to seek pediatric expertise if they were concerned. Instead, they actioned safeguarding investigation. So with this safeguarding investigation, the local authority, social services, got involved. Social services went to this mother's house on the day that she'd come into my friend's home crying and said, you've got till Monday to override the child's consent, or we're taking your two youngest daughters into care. So basically, they wanted this woman to do what she lawfully cannot do, something only a court can do. And if she didn't enforce this mastectomy on a healthy 15-year-old's breast, her children were to be removed on the 18th of December. They would not wait until after Christmas. They wanted to remove the children on the 18th of December. So fortunately for us, Liz, this went to the London High Court. We got involved. We advised the mother that you do not give these people a single inch, because when we looked at the court paperwork, they were already going for a mile. We couldn't believe what we were seeing in this paperwork, to be honest with you. And like I said, it was a good job that they took it to London, because you're dealing with the bigger chiefs up there, Liz. Do you know what I mean? They walk all over us here in Cardiff. So it was me who actually pushed Mum to fight, to stand up and tell them, no, it's not happening. So we started recording interactions with the social services where they were giving medical advice. They were misleading this family, pretending it was a biopsy, when in actual fact, they were going to the High Court for a full mastectomy on this child, even though the doctors have admitted in their statements they are not used to dealing with patients of this age. So basically, this was an experiment. And if this case had gone ahead, if the judge had authorized this mastectomy, this case law then would have applied to every child in the UK, including the gender confused children. We had no time to waste on it, none whatsoever. We managed to get 17 people together quickly to get up to the court in London. And thank the Lord, we actually had a judge with a bit of common sense. He walked into that courtroom that morning, and before they said a single word, he said, I am not ordering a mastectomy here today. So you would get that off the table before we go any further. You know, even if this was a case where the child had, let's say she had cancer, because they were making out now that this child, it was a life or death situation. You know, even if this was the case, you're asking the judge to order a lifetime of disfigurement for a 15-year-old developing girl. We took the child with us to the court, and the judge asked for the child to come in. She sat through the hearing. All he was doing was apologizing to her. She made it perfectly clear that she was willing to have an operation, but she didn't want a mastectomy. So we found a private practice for her to go and have a consultation. Social services tried to interfere with that, tried to jeopardize it. We would not give them the details of where we were going or what we were doing until after we came out. We also have evidence that the NHS in Wales did try to meddle with the engagement between the child and this consultant. So we could have gone all out and you know, gone after that consultant, because some things that she said in the beginning wasn't quite what she was saying now, but we chose not to do that because they were turning her into an enemy against us. She was invited into the court, and again, thank the Lord she was there, because she got to see for herself what social services and the NHS were doing. They were using language such as tumour and Teenage Cancer Trust. And this consultant was shaking her head. She couldn't believe it. At this stage, the social services had dropped the interim care order to take the child into foster care, but they wanted an interim care order to keep the child in her own home. And again, the judge was wonderful. He gave them the opportunity to explain what benefits the child will have from this. They asked for a 10-minute break. 10 minutes turned into an hour because it was another 10 and another 10 and another 10. So we've got the top dogs now. The top dogs of the NHS in South Wales going into that court. The top dogs of Cardiff Social Service going into that court, and they could not give that judge a reasonable explanation why they should be interfering in this family's life. So they have not gone away as of yet, because where we're at now, we have had the child in with our private consultant. The operation was performed. The nipple was saved. There is no cosmetic damage whatsoever. And out of the 3 experts that we had to view the breast, one wanted a full mastectomy, the other wanted to go in through the nipple, and the other was the one who could perform this operation with no cosmetic well, no, you know, there's no disfigurement there at all. The young girl had her operation on the 21st of January and is recovering wonderfully. We are back in the court now on the 20th of February to see what's what. But to cut a long story short, Liz, we are going for them. There is not a hope in hell that I am allowing people with that power to do this to another child here in this country. Because don't forget, the criminal justice system is England and Wales. What happens here in the courts here will be applied to everybody else in the whole of the UK. So we are not letting this drop. We are not letting them go away quietly. We are going in for the kill. We're going for the jugular. We have researched these particular surgeons, and I have nicknamed one of them Harriet Shipman with good reason. So where we're at now with this case, the children have been saved from foster care. The child's breast has been saved, but we just need to go back on the 20th of February to completely mop up. So that's where we're at on that.
I don't know what to say. And we are, as you know, we're doing this beforehand. So this is before the 20th of February. If you can come back to me, so on the 22nd, I can actually give out what happened on the 20th. I know you'll be tied up, but just a quick update of how you got on. It is absolutely outrageous. And as another woman, you know, I cannot think the pressure that's been put on mother and daughter is absolutely outrageous. And you know, these people want they need to be barred from practice. They honestly need to be barred from practice.
There is absolutely nothing in our paperwork, in our medical evidence. We kept asking for the medical evidence. The NHS had to explain to the judge why we haven't got the medical evidence. There was no explanation. It got to the point where we had to put them on notice before putting an application into the court. There was no test results. There was no biopsy results. There was no ultrasound results. All there was copies of letters to the GP. We have finally got the file now, and when you look at it, Liz, there is nothing there. There was never a medical emergency. They did how this case was accepted by the court based off 2 statements and clinical notes is beyond me, because clinical notes differ from practice to practice based on the person's expertise. But what doesn't change from practice to practice are the test results, the ultrasound results, the biopsy results. And that is something they would not give us. All test results on our child to date are clear.
I can't tell you, Kim. It is, you know, for all of us, it's a privilege to watch you work and to see the passion. If everybody had the same passion to deal, we would have such a better country. I can only say it's just wonderful news for both mum, daughter, and for you personally, because I know you get, like me, you get very emotionally involved. And it's, you know, it's a breakdown situation when you've actually won, because
Liz,
also taking these children into care is just outrageous.
If those children had gone into care on the 18th of December, my Christmas would have been, and usually December's my month off. I don't work in December, but we kind of pulled off a 6-month case in 2 weeks. We absolutely annihilated them. And like I said, if those children had gone into care on the 18th of December, it would have really impacted my household, you know. And we can't allow that to happen. You know, we do get emotionally attached to these cases. You know, sometimes that you've got to remember that, you know, that there's emotion involved, and it's difficult to remain professional on some fronts. But the fact that it's not happening directly to us, I think that gives us a little step outside that we can hold it together, you know. And let's not forget that we do have an incredible team. Our team are so skilled that we did get the government into court without the solicitor. We do all of this work without solicitors. Yes, we employ a barrister at the end of it, but everything is done. We do everything ourselves. The court applications, the statements, everything is done by us.
Kim, it is the only way, I feel. I've been involved in a lot of court cases over my time, and as soon as you involved anybody else from the legal team, forget it. I think I represented myself and my husband 14 times in court without any help from anybody else, including in the High Courts in the Royal Courts of Justice in London. And it's the only way to do it. It's the only way.
Every case I take on, the parents are avoiding court. I'm like, no. We get ready for court. Because what happens out here and what happens in court are 2 different things. And if we don't play the game right out here, you're going to have no control over what goes into court. We are taking them to court, you know. And I love the courtroom, you know. I've been doing this now for 17 years, you know, the family court cases. And as soon as I go in, I'll pour my glass of water, and I am like that for the first couple of minutes. And I don't know why, but I absolutely love the court environment. You know, it's what I'm best suited for. So I thoroughly enjoy these days out at the court, Liz.
Can I just say I feel rather sorry for the other side.
Well, a lot of people.
If you know what I mean, I obviously don't, because they shouldn't be there in the first place. But you know what I mean. I wouldn't like to take you on a dark night, Kim. I must admit.
Well, even our own barrister says that. He says, Kim, I'm so glad I'm not opposed to you. I am petrified of you.
Kim, I can understand it, but only in the nicest possible way. So, Kim, you'll come back to us on the outcome of the 20th in which is only a fortnight, just over a fortnight away. Now, what's ongoing for this next 6 months for you and the team?
As you know, on the 22nd, the same day as you, we have our first ever annual conference. We've got some fantastic speakers on board there. We've got Dr. Liz Evans, Paul Diamond Barrister, Dr. Anna Loutfi, Nigel Thorne, David Curtin. We've got lots of wonderful speakers. We got people from the coalition as well around the UK. So Too Much Too Young campaigners, the Birmingham Boys campaigners, and obviously us as well. So that's our conference. We have just written, I did mention this on the last one, we did write a training package, which we were piloting for safeguarding. That is now in its final stages. It's going to be CPD accredited, and we are just about to apply for funding to apply that training into a single local authority in Wales. We're starting small. We're not going for big funds, because when you go for big funds, they got more control over your organisation. We're going for small pots of money, one local authority at a time. We've only got 22 local authorities here in Wales. So once we nail these, we come in for the rest of the UK. So we really are upskilling ourselves. We've got 2 more staff members doing the RSE accreditation training this year, which means we'll have 4 licence holders within the organisation. We are fully insured caterers now, so we can also provide catering on our events. And we're just ticking those boxes. As we're ticking those boxes, we're actively seeking cases which potentially could affect the whole country. We're throwing everything behind those cases, you know, to protect the people. And that's pretty much where we're at right now, Liz. We're looking for the funding. We're putting this training together, and we want to educate our country and empower our people.
Well, Kim, I think I was most unpopular in Gateshead because I said to you, please don't just talk about the sex education in schools. Will you actually take the lesson? Now, I sat, you were facing the audience and used the audience as the classroom, and you taught them what they would have learned if they'd been in primary school. And I have never, ever seen people so uncomfortable in their lives. They were squirming in their seats with embarrassment about the education that you were giving them. So, you know, that is, it's crucial that parents don't just think about, oh, it's sex education in school. It's actually what is being taught. And that video up on our website is absolutely, it's been seen so many times. It was horrific. Absolutely horrific, and it shouldn't have. Before you go any further, where is your event, and is it full on the 22nd of February? Because people that can't come to us, oh, this will be too late. Forget I've said that. I'll cut this bit out because, of course, it's on the day. I'll tell you what I will do, though. I'll put this event up when I send my next newsletter out. Where is it full? Is it full, Kim, or not?
No, it's not full yet. We've only sold about 30 tickets at the moment.
Right, where is it and what time?
It's in Cumbran in Newport.
Right, Cumbran. Right, and send me over the full address and the times, etc. And I'll cut this bit out of the recording in a minute. But if you send me over the full details, I will put it up on our next newsletter at what I'm sending out to our people. So anybody that can't come up to us that's closer to you, we'll try and get them over to you. And the cost of the ticket, where they can buy tickets, etc. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Kim. So you've got a very full 6 months coming up, and I hope that our next conference should be in the West Country, and I'll try and make sure it's not on a day that clashes with you, because our audience love you, and you know what it's like when you come to our event. And also, Lou spoke last time with you and did a hell of a good job, and it's good to see the team. Because, you know, it's not just one person, and you was the first to say that. It's the team you've got working with you.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is, like, even with the work that I've been doing on my own for 17 years, just having the team around me, I feel twice the person. I feel that I can give far more. It gives me the confidence, and I know they feel the same as well. We are forever, we take on our own cases, and we're forever on the phone, you know, check this, look at this. Just having such an incredible team, it makes all the difference in the world. It really does. We are small, but we are mighty. And, you know, we all put a bit of elbow grease into it. We're all grafters. and we've all got one mission, and that is to protect our children. You know, and when you protect your children, you're protecting the future. Any damage comes to our children, you're dealing with a nation of damaged adults. And where do we go from there? You know, it's difficult to get people engaged as it is. It's difficult to get people motivated. Well, if we're going to destroy our children, we're going to have no chance of getting any adults motivated. You know, the children are our future. We are not the future. The children are the future. So we invest in the young and we take care of the old. You know, we've all got the same mindset. We're all in it to win it. You know, we're not in it for our health or anything like that. This fight is not healthy. We get nothing from it. All we want to do is leave behind a world that is fit for children. That's all we want.
Kim, I quite understand. And people think of Wales as quite a small country, which it is, but it's very, very difficult geographically, north to south. I know because I lived in the mid for many years and the family live up at north as well. So to have a team, you do actually need a team, because if you're not careful, everything gets centered around Cardiff and the south.
Yes.
And you know, the north gets forgotten and the mid gets forgotten. So to have a proper team to go across the 22 areas is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we're all pretty widespread anyway. We got members in North Wales, members in South Wales. North Wales is difficult because it's so rural. It's getting people to events, it's choosing where to have the events. Plus, the people down south don't know the area very well. So it is difficult. Don't get me wrong, it is difficult. But like I keep saying, 5 good people in Wales is going to pack a much harder punch than 5 good people in England, simply because of the size. And we need to use that to our advantage. We can get north and south, east and west in a single day. You can't do that in England. You can't do that in Scotland. So, you know, we need to use these things to our advantage, really. And like I said, we've only got 22 local authorities. We've only got 1,500 schools. You've got 23,000 there. If we can't do it here, then nobody's going to do it anywhere else, you know. So we are focused on, even though we've got the problems with things being rural, you know, that doesn't affect us, because we know there's only 22 local authorities and we're going to take them one by one.
You're absolutely fantastic, Kim. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of what I know is your busy schedule, and we wish you obviously all the best for the 20th, and we'll have the outcome hopefully to tell everybody at our event. Good luck in yours, and we'll see you in the flesh down in the West Country, probably towards the end of April, beginning of May.
Brilliant, you certainly will. And thank you all, everyone there, the great resist. Keep up the good fight, and let's give 2025 a good hiding.
I'm sure we're going to do it our very best, Kim, that's for sure.
We are.
Thank you very much.